two.
NYC's Fresh Boys of the City. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another show with Mo, where the theme fits the team. Hit that like and subscribe button down low if you're feeling the content. In this episode, we go through the first mock draft. Hope you like the new intro. Shout out to everybody out of town, showing some love, rocking some shirts. I see you guys out there, out in Virginia, out in New Jersey. Thank you very much for the love. We got more for you guys coming up this spring and this summer. But first, let's get into the mock draft. So we still need a starting cornerback number 2. We still need interior offensive line help. We still need another inside linebacker to go next to Tremaine Edmonds. I know we did re-sign Micah McFadden coming back from his injury, but we still need another starting caliber there. And of course, we need some D-line help to help out on the interior with Dexter Lawrence. He can't play every single down, every single game, so we need to get him some help. I still believe we need some wide receiver depth help here, given the changes and some of the additions to the new roster. Overall impact player, somebody that's just that impactful. Somebody could come in and just change the game just with his style of play. Our first mock. We only have 19 days till the draft. It's gonna go by quickly, 3 weeks. That's pretty much it. And then we're gonna be in the draft. So the Raiders are gonna take Fernando Mendoza. That's a given, okay? The signing of Kirk Cousins, I don't know how he does it, but he signed for another $100+ million. But it's really just a guaranteed 1 year for $20 million, and then the Raiders have an option over the next 2 years. So look for Kirk Cousins to probably be more of a bridge quarterback for now, but Fernando Mendoza definitely going to be the top pick in this coming draft. The Jets, at the number 2 pick, I have them taking Arvell Reese. Listen, the Jets need help along many positions, especially on the defensive side of the ball. At least Arvell Reese can provide some help as an off-ball and as an edge rusher in certain situations. Arizona Cardinals. So this is where, for me, it gets a little bit tricky. I believe Arizona, they definitely could go many different ways. Even Jeremiah Love, probably possible here. But I'm going to give them an offensive tackle. Their offensive line needs help. That's the whole reason why Kyler Murray really wasn't that successful in the first place, because the offensive line just was that terrible, okay? They need help. Francis Mauigoa, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, I believe it's going to be the number 3 pick. At number 4, as much as it's going to pain me, I believe Brian Daboll is going to give Cam Ward some help in the backfield with Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love, I believe, to me, is a generational talent. 6 foot, 220, runs a 4.3, and really can do it all out of the backfield. If you have not seen his highlights, please check him out. He's one of the most talented running backs probably since Saquon and since the Bijan Robinsons have come out into the NFL. At number 5, the New York Football Giants select. I believe it's going to be Sonny Styles. I know there's been a lot of talk about Caleb Downs. There's a lot of talk about Carnell Tate. But if you look at some of the moves that we've done in the offseason, we have a number of safeties now, with Jason Pinnock now coming back. Javon Holland is still signed. Tyler Nubin is still there. We did sign Ardavius Washington. We also signed Elijah Campbell to help out in the secondary. So we have a number of safeties still available. Art Green is also re-signed as well. So I believe that we go in the front 7. They could go Carnell Tate here. It would not shock me if they did, but I'm gonna guess Sonny Styles. He's just that unique of a talent coming out. If you see the highlights that we shared in our previous episodes, if you saw some of the things that he did in the combine, this guy is amazing. So I believe we go with Sonny Styles. You pair him with Tremaine Edmonds, and we now have probably the best front 7 in the NFL. Carnell Tate goes to Cleveland to help out our boy over there, Shedeur Sanders. Hopefully he gets a line to block for him. You'll see that later in my actual guesses as well. The Washington Commanders end up with David Bailey. That's a lucky for them. He's probably one of the best talents to come out this draft, and the fall at 7 would be tremendous for them. The New Orleans Saints, they also get their edge help. I believe Cameron Jordan is no longer there. That's why they're going to definitely need edge help right away. So my guess for them would be Ruben Bain out of Miami. The Kansas City Chiefs will take Marcel Delane to replace their cornerback trade that they did earlier this offseason. Caleb Downs ends up with the Cincinnati Bengals, maybe the best defensive player overall in this draft. The Dolphins replace Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They're going to start off with Jordan Tyson, in my opinion, Yes, I've heard of any injury history, but he's probably the more dynamic receivers in this draft. Jamar McCoy, who had a stellar pro day for Tennessee, ends up with Dallas. He fills the gap for Trevon Diggs. Spencer Fano, out of Utah. I think he's going to stay on the West Coast, and he's going to help out with the LA Rams, blocking for Matthew Stafford. The Ravens end up with the interior line help on the offensive line, ended up with Olavega. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they get a new tight end in Kenyon Sadiq. This way has helped take off pressure of the loss for Mike Evans in the offseason. The Jets, I believe they end up with Mekhi Lemon. Again, the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, Jets just need help across the board. For the Detroit Lions, I got them taking Monroe Freeling. They need some help across the offensive line just to replenish some free agents there. The Vikings, they need help in their secondary. Dylan Thielman will be their pick. I got the Panthers taking Denzel Boston just to give Bryce Young some help. Played some great ball at the end of last year, so hopefully this continues to help with his growth. I got Dallas also trying to replace Michael Parsons with Keldrick Falk, dynamic edge rusher out of Auburn. Maybe doesn't have the explosiveness of a Mekhi. He's more of a power rusher, but he still gets the job done in the backfield. Caleb Lamu ends up in Pittsburgh with the Steelers to try to block for Aaron Rodgers. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I believe he ends up as a safety for the San Diego Chargers. Caden Proctor fills the holes for the offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles. Blake Miller ends up in Cleveland to help block for Shador. CJ Allen replaces Tremaine Edmonds for the Chicago Bears. Peter Woods, interior defensive line help for the Buffalo Bills, someone to get in the backfield and cause havoc, maybe get the ball back for Josh Allen. Max Ironhaker for the San Francisco 49ers. I believe he's the predecessor to the eventually retiring Trent Williams, but shout out to him though. He's still balling out like crazy. Caden McDonald ends up in Houston. Casey Concepcion ends up with the Kansas City Chiefs for that second pick. I like his game. Match him with Pat Mahomes. That'd be a problem. Avion Terrell ends up in Miami to give them some cornerback help. Cassius Howell falls to the New England Patriots. I think one of the things that they missed last year was an actual pass rusher. Hopefully Cassius Howell can fill that void. And the Seattle Seahawks, I got them taking Akeem Messidor with the final pick in the first round. So the Giants only have this year 7 picks, and most of our picks are actually in the late rounds. We do not have a third round pick there, only because of the trade for last year that ended up being Jackson Dart. So we have the first round, we have the second round, and then we drop to the 4th, and then we have a 5th round pick with then 3 6th rounders late in the draft. Please do not sleep on 6th rounders and 5th rounders. These picks end up being sometimes even diamonds in the rough. They end up being excellent draft picks for special teamers, for guys that come in, the unsung heroes, the gunners, the guys that handle the dirty work on special teams. So please, we need to use each of these picks, and we need to hit on all of them as well, because we don't have that many. I know you heard the rumors, because I heard them too. This situation. So, Odell coming back. Yes, there are talks that John Harbaugh has had. It has been widely reported that there has been talks. I don't think it's going to be going beyond talks. I think it's a wait and see situation. I think if anything, maybe he gets a training camp invite, and then maybe so happens if he does make the team, it's not going to be in a role where he's like a wide receiver number 2. I believe it's more so for a veteran presence to have in the locker room, someone that has won in this league, someone that can definitely mentor Malik Neighbors a little bit more up and close on an everyday basis. And then he does have a good relationship with John Harbaugh. He does know this offense. He was a part of this offense with Lamar Jackson just a couple years ago. So I'm not knocking it. I just don't see it as big of a deal that a lot of Giant fans are making right now. He's not coming back to be the OBJ that we once were, okay? Those days are over, unfortunately. All right, but that does not mean maybe in spot situations, or it does not mean that he can still help this team as a veteran presence in the locker room. All right, you guys, 19 days away. See you soon. Peace.